And we're back. Hello. Okay, wait, let me start again. And we're back. Hello and welcome to the Just Mates podcast, where we aim to destigmatise men not speaking up about mental health. Remember to follow our social pages on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Just Mates Pod. You can listen to and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor and Apple Podcast. All the links are provided in the description. Yes, I know we've been gone for quite a while. You're joined here by me, Nafees, and...
me, Sam.
Yeah, quite a few weeks off, maybe months.
Bruh.
Yes, good to be back.
It feels really weird. I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't feel like how we used to do the pod. I don't know.
I think because things have changed a lot now as well, since even the last episode was on hope, and it was a bit morbid. Obviously, they all kind of are as well. But yeah, now I think the dynamic of this one might be a little different.
Yeah, well, you want to explain? Like, I think. No, let me have a go at explaining. I think we just decided, both you and me, to have a break from it for like a good couple of. It was initially like a week, and then we were like a month, and then we didn't really speak to each other too much because I think we were both doing our own thing, like working like mad, because I know you got a new job and my job has just been sinking me in about 40-50 hours a week as well.
Yeah, so it just got a bit overwhelming, didn't it? So we kind of, the whole premise of this whole podcast is talking about how you feel, offering advice to people and stuff. So if we don't take our own advice, then we're kind of really hypocrites, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to explain what's happened with you recently? I know we had like a brief chat before.
Yeah, so I know, obviously, as you said, we haven't really spoken much recently, and we had a lot to catch up on ourselves, and we just literally had a massive catch up, and it's nice really, because sometimes when you talk all the time, you don't really feel like anything new's happening. And I'm not saying that it was great to not talk to you, but like it's just nice to have like a massive catch up and get back to grips with things. But yeah, so today's episode, sorry we didn't say, today's episode is on recovery. So I think that was a name you came up with. I think it's quite a nice little summary in terms of what this episode's going to be, jumping back into the real world and feeling kind of a bit more optimistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think how do I say this? So it was just nice having, like, I like doing the pod every weekend, but it's nice to just cool down, like, especially, and you could probably vouch for this as well now, that like when if you work in like Monday to Friday doing like stupid hours and really, really just grinding your gears and, running out of oil, then having like a day where you don't have anything is so nice.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even now I don't really just sit and do nothing, but knowing that I could is actually quite a nice thought. It might not be that I utilize that time to do nothing, but I know that I can like take a break. Like even today, I mentioned to you, I woke up a little later, laid in a little and stuff. It's just nice to be able to do that. Again, I love doing the pod. I still do love doing it, but having that little mental break from it and not having to kind of do the editing side of things, it gives us some time to recuperate and kind of build the fuel back up, because you start to run on low, and then the quality and the content deteriorates, and it just goes a bit downhill. So I'm glad we took a little break.
Yeah, well, I spoke to you yesterday. I texted you and I was like, pod tomorrow? And you were both like, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still quite hyped. It feels weird, like you said, feels weird being here recording again. But it's nice. It's really nice. There's a couple of things in the pipeline that I want to kind of start doing with Just Mates, which I'll probably mention now. Is like, I don't know if you remember me mentioning Blossom. It's another kind of mental well-being organisation that I've been in touch with and I know of, and we might be looking to kind of collaborate at some point. So it'd be good.
Yeah, I remember you saying that probably like November or something.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I was meaning to ask you what was going on with that, but like me being relatively selfish, I was just like, I'm too tired.
No, it's fine, man. Like, but it's just something that we could look to do, and yeah, just there's a lot more things to come from Just Mates, and essentially we've always wanted to do some video work as well together, like live video of us, and hopefully, like May 17th, the lockdown's kind of lifting again, and it might be nicer to meet up and do some physical like things together.
Yeah, no, I'd love to, mate. I mean, I was with my missus. Well, I'm always with my missus, but we went out to go and meet some of her friends yesterday. And I don't know, have you met any people outside of work? Have you catched up with anybody at the park or?
Yeah, no, I've seen. Obviously, there's a couple of friends from old work Ryan, I've seen. As you know who he is, yes, and my close mates from around here, Naz and stuff. I've met up with quite a few people, and yeah, it's been nice. Like, it's been really nice. I went for dinner with Ryan the other last week or so. I think it was a week and a half ago, and we obviously had to eat outside, but we were talking, and it just felt so weird being out for dinner. Do you know what I mean? We've come to such a world where that felt new and like as if it's something that's not really like achievable. But it was nice, man. It was nice to kind of rebuild and like feel normal again.
I felt quite weird, like meeting up with people. Like I noticed like something which hasn't spiked in a long time is my social anxiety. It kicked up like crazy to like shallow breathing sort of thing, and I kind of noticed it, and it gradually got worse. And then I was walking home with Mrs. and I was like, this is something I need to sort out before I get back to work. Because I haven't had
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I was saying this to Ryan as well. Like, I was saying that I'm kind of nervous to be out in groups again. Like, even naturally, I was saying, like, I was in Asda and basically, you have to, like, stand apart anyway. And we were standing apart. I was actually relatively far away from the person in front, but I still felt not claustrophobic, but I still felt like, oh, damn, I need to move back a little more. And that was a natural, intuitive thing to do. And I think that's just drilled in our heads now, not to be close to people. And like, even if I see like loads of people clammed into an aisle, like in a supermarket, I'll feel weird. Like, should they be brushing past each other like that kind of thing? It is like, it's weird, man. It's the new norm.
Yeah, I think mine was just more or less the kind of actually speaking to people, making conversation element. Like, it was just weird. Like, I do it at work, like, all the time with people and with you and one-to-ones, but like in groups, I just found that I'm just useless now.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That, like you said, the social anxiety kind of builds up, especially when it's just like doing something that you used to do a lot to not doing it and then jumping back into it. It's like, like same with gym, like you get your muscle memory back, don't you? Like if you've taken a long time out, you need a few weeks, you'll start aching for a while, but after like a week or so, you build your muscle memory back up and it's like nothing ever happened. I think the problem at the moment is like we're not going to be doing that as regularly, like meeting out and stuff. So every time we do, there's going to be that kind of anxious kind of feeling, really, until it becomes the new normal again to be able to do that.
I found, I kind of related it to a previous time. You're so right with that, because I related it to a previous time when I worked in retail for like 4 years, and then I stopped to do my final year at uni and really bust my nut to try and get things done. Like, I remember going into Tesco once, or was it Costa? Yeah, I think it was Costa, right? Like halfway through final year, and yes, I could meet up with like my football friends and stuff, like, but to a person that I didn't know, I was like, so the checkout clerk, I was stuttering, and then I was with a mate and I go, why are you stuttering? Like, what is going on with you, Sam? And I was thinking, okay, it's like, I think it's just like social anxiety, fearing like saying the wrong thing, and like it's like that now. Like what I experienced then is like that now, but like twofold.
Yeah, I get it, because you're like, say if you're in a group of like people, obviously not having been out like that, you don't want to say something that's like, oh, should I have said that, or like, was I insensitive, or was I this, or was it? You start to overthink everything, and then you start to become silent, and then you start to shake in your boots because you don't know what to say.
Yeah, I'm like that type. I caught myself doing it as well, because I was like in this group, and everybody was making a joke. You know, when you just like you laugh, and you turn your head and you're not laughing.
Yeah, it's
like, kill me.
Yeah, that kind of, I know.
Yeah,
it's but I think
weird.
The more things start to loosen up, like things are easing up on May the 17th, and then I think June the 21st as well. It's just been nice to look forward, like having these dates is nice to know that there's something to look forward to.
Oh, I've just been so ingrained in my job and stuff, mate, that I've got no idea what's going on. Like, can you tell me what's going on? Like,
so obviously at the moment the restaurants are opened and the gyms are open, but the restaurants you can't eat inside, and like the food places it's just either take out, or if they've got outdoor seating you eat outdoors. Beer gardens have opened up and stuff. Obviously the typicals have gone to get a beer and sit outside and stuff, freezing their tits off because it's still global warming going on. And yeah, like I think May the 17th the restaurants are opening up back to eating indoors. So I think things are just loosening up at that point. But yeah, I find it hilarious, Sam, because I go gym every day, and the gym. Are you still there?
A few moments later.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, no, sorry. And the gyms are absolutely packed. Like, obviously, there's everyone everywhere. Obviously, the materials are being cleaned, the equipment's being cleaned, but obviously, you're pretty much walking past people. You can't social distance in a gym, but at this point you can't eat inside a restaurant when you're sitting on a table. So how does that logic work? Like, you can go to a gym, get all messy and scruffy and like work out, but you can't go to a clean restaurant.
Well, if you're thinking about it, like if you were like on a treadmill and you had the virus, and because you're breathing really hard, aren't you, on the treadmill? If you are
just
really
spreading
going
more
for
germs,
it just goes everywhere. That's not going to happen in a restaurant. I mean, if it does, it's less so.
Exactly, it just doesn't make sense, man. But it is what it is. I mean, we've got to be grateful that things are changing again. Like, sometimes it just looked like there was no way out, really, didn't it? I mean, we were just saying before the pod, like, back in September, October, or even September to December, our perspectives were so much different to how we started today's phone call.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just taking each day as it comes. I'm still holding that true to myself. Like I've amassed like a huge amount of savings now since I started, like a lot of money. And it's just that, I guess that's keeping me going as well. It's just having like something to work towards in the next 5 years. But you haven't. I don't think you've told people about what you've been doing really. Aside from gym.
So some exciting stuff. I know for the last 35 episodes I was banging on about not having a job, not working, keeping busy in my own time. And yeah, like I had a few opportunities here and there. There was a bit hit and miss. I had some interviews. And yeah, I can't lie, mentally I was on a downward path. Things weren't going well, you know that, and like we spoke about it all the time. So anyway, comes February, like I've still been picking myself up, doing little bits of work. Started freelancing at a company for like 2 weeks. And basically I was just doing some design work there. And out of nowhere, on the following Monday, they offered me a job. And I hadn't even applied. So it was like, what? I was like, damn, like, I didn't expect it. Like, well, I kind of did and I didn't. I didn't really know what was going on. And so, yeah, they kind of made a position for me. And they was like, we're not actually hiring, but you've made us want to hire. So, yeah, do you want to come on board? And obviously, I was thrilled. I was absolutely thrilled. And then since February, I've been working at the company. So it's been absolutely great. I've done some great things there. Team's great, local. It's just been very positive.
It's exactly what you need. It's exactly what, and like, correct me if I'm wrong. This place sounds like, apart from like the bustling atmosphere, it sounds like they just let your creative. I don't know what the word is.
No, a lot. Well, I don't want to brag, but I'm the marketing manager, so it's kind of like. As much as it is, it's a team effort, but like a lot of it is down to me and coming up with ideas and stuff. And it's all. But the great thing about this is I don't feel alone. Like I don't feel like I don't have any support, and that it's just great to be in that kind of work environment. And yeah, I'm really glad to be working here. It's great. It's honestly absolutely amazing. Company's called Go Getters, so if anyone wants to search it up, their Instagram, all of their recent Instagram is kind of my work. So yeah, redesigned their website and stuff like that. So it's great, man. It's really good, and it's nice to have this to talk about and to mention this to people. It's just something a bit more uplifting than, oh, I'm looking for a job. Do you know what I mean?
How much do they pay you to say that?
Well,
I'm joking.
Is that the right thing to say, Lee? Lee, is that right?
It's a nice little Mercedes, isn't it?
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, no. On a serious note, it's great, mate. It's great atmosphere, local, and yeah, I'm just hopefully onwards and upwards. You know what it's like.
Yeah. Well, what about gym? You said you've been going every day.
So obviously when gyms weren't open, I was still working out every day, and I think that was my kind of escapism. Like it gave me something to do because I was still working and there was still no gyms. Because I've been working since the gyms were closed. Sorry, so I was still coming home, working out, going for a run, doing this and that. So yeah, no, being back at the gym since it's been opened, since the 12th of January, February, March, April, I think it is. I've only had 3 sessions off. So,
jeez, mate.
Yeah, I've worked out pretty much just bar 1 day a week. I've worked out every day. So it's great. Like I think today I might have off. I'm not sure. I might go for a walk later, but I'm still, I'm fasting as well. I don't know if you guys know. So for anyone listening, I'm fasting, which means I'm not eating or drinking from sunrise to sunset. And that's a part of my religious beliefs. And yeah, so I've still been training whilst fasting. And do you know what? Mentally, I feel like it's going great. At the moment, I don't want to jinx it, but I feel okay. Like I feel fine.
I'm fasting too, mate.
Are you?
Again, yeah. Like last year, I lost what was it? Just over 2 stone, I think.
Yeah. Are you doing intermittent fasting?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, not anything. I couldn't do what you do. It's kind of like it's going to be. I'm doing 16/8 again. Monday to. Well, about 6 days a week. I have 1 cheat day because last year, I don't know, it just drained me completely. And I've still I don't know, I think I went from 85 kilograms or something down to 70 kilograms.
Damn.
And then now I'm back up at, which is probably not anywhere near 2 stone, but I don't know, probably more, probably less. I don't know. But now I'm back up at 76, which is it's a good weight. But I want to get back down to about 72, I think.
Nice. That's good though. That's at least you have a goal now as well.
Yeah, it's all right.
With intermittent fasting, it can become very mentally draining as well. I was doing it for 3 months. Well, I was doing it for since September, October, up until with fasting. So up until actual fasting. But I got used to it. I got really used to it, and I started to be a little bit more flexible with it, and it kind of worked because it became a lifestyle change. So if I ate something a bit too much one day, I wouldn't have as much the next day. I'd balance it out.
I like food, mate. In the morning, I need food, and when I'm stressed at work, normally in the mornings because I get loads of clients calling me. It's just that I need food. I need sugar, and it gets to 1 p.m. and my missus is like throwing food at me and I'm just like eating it like a duck, just doesn't even touch the sides. And yeah, it's good, but I feel like I'm eating more so after when I do eat. But I don't need to lose a lot of weight, not like last year, like at all.
No, to be honest, you're looking quite good, man. Like I've seen a few pictures, and it was just on FaceTime. You look well.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's not too bad, but I'm not putting too much of an emphasis on trying to lose weight. It's just like, you know what I mean, Naf? It's just I'm trying to feel healthy.
Mate, looking at numbers, looking at the figures, that ruins you. Just do it. Just make a lifestyle change and kind of adapt to it. And I think that's the best way to go about it, especially nutritionally. If you start to tell yourself, I can't have chocolate, can't have this, can't have that, it becomes draining, and then you start to hate the meals that you can have. So have a little bit here, have a little bit there, and just balance it all out.
Yeah, it's like you're not in a competition. Like, no, you don't need to.
No, exactly. But it's good, man. It's good to be aware of these things, because mentally as well, again, it helps that you've got a little bit, because you feel like you've got more control over yourself. Like you feel like I can control myself from doing this, can control myself from doing that. So you know what I mean? Like it's that level of I can do this. And
speaking of control, speaking to my missus like a couple of times, like she was like, you're vaping way too much. So like for people, I think you know this enough, but like I smoked for like probably from when I was like 18 until I don't know 23 or something like that, and then I just went on the vape, and then I went from 18 milligrams to 12, and then I went from 12 to 6, and now I'm on 0. And
You're on 0?
Yeah, I've been on 0 for about just over 2 weeks now.
Damn, that's incredible. That is actually great.
Yeah. So, and I was thinking, like, because you work at home, right? And especially you can probably feel for this as well. You get stressed. Like when you get stressed and you're allowed to vape in that environment, you're going to do it all the time. Yeah. And my mouth was getting like proper dry. And I was like, I don't know what the long-term effects of this is. I know it has like effects on, but that's what I've heard anyway, and they haven't brought out studies for the long-term effects. And I was like, I don't want to get to 50, 60 years old and they say something,
struggle with breathing.
And like I'm putting on a ventilator. You just don't know. So I was just like, spoke to my missus. I was like, I need to give this up. I'm gonna go on 0 straight away. And then I've been on 0. And
how do you feel? Do you still feel like you've got that little control over the fact that you can still vape, but obviously there's just nothing in it?
Yeah, but partially. What you don't really notice with nicotine is like it hits the back of your throat. Yeah, that's the thing from the vape that hits your throat, and that's the thing that I miss like the most, oddly enough. And with 0, it just doesn't have that effect. But I'm still vaping, but like it's kind of, how do I explain it? I do it less because I know it doesn't have that effect, but I've still got it there in case I desperately need to do like vape something. And I'm probably going to try and give it up over the next month or something. I bought my last big bottle of it. It was like 20 quid, not big bottle, but one of those like big squeezy ones, which I've never bought before. But I was like, I need one and then I'm done. Like that.
Do you think you'll be able to do it?
Yeah. Well, if I can go from like 18 to 0 in the matter of like a couple of months, I'm pretty confident I can do,
No, I'm honestly speaking, Sam, I'm very proud like that you've been able to do that, because mentally, like you just can't seem to let go of things. Not you, but you as in plural. And to be able to, this is what's so important about a gradual decrease or gradually kind of making a change. Like you can't just go from, for example, loving chocolate every single day to just one day not having it. You gradually stop. You reduce your portions, you reduce this, and then gradually you start having less and less. It's the same with anything. Same with anything that you want to make a lifestyle change with. Gradually do it, and you'll reap the rewards. And as you are now.
Yeah, I couldn't have gone from 18 to nothing. Like when I stopped smoking, like it was probably 10, 12 fags a day. And bear in mind, I was in peak physical condition. So I don't know. It just, I was just thinking, like, I couldn't have gone from 12 fags a day to absolutely nothing.
No, you can't go. People do go cold turkey, but I don't know if it's as beneficial, because that means that essentially you haven't got yourself used to doing it less, which means that if you go cold turkey and say you do absolutely great, you don't smoke for a year or half a year, but as soon as you take one more, that can feed your addiction again. But if you take a gradual kind of course of like doing it less and less, you can then allow yourself to be like, oh well, I'll have one and that's it.
Yeah, and well, I did kind of go cold turkey with smoking fags. I kind of went from 10 to maybe like 5, and then after 5 I went cold turkey. But I went back to vape after like 3 months. So that kind of says proof is in the pudding. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does work differently for everyone. Obviously, we're not talking for everyone to do this, but I would suggest personally, if you're trying to cut back on stuff, don't do it all at once. Like, it's really not that simple. Like, your body isn't made to just drop something. You have to kind of nurture it and teach it to like something less.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing with and I haven't been drunk since August still, so I'm keeping that going. I just have I've got nothing pulls me to alcohol. Nothing.
Yeah, I remember you saying, actually, I think it was it Christmas or something, that you said you had one drink and you just didn't really care for it.
Yeah, I just to me, I just see no point. It just drains your money as well. And I don't know. I think the only thing I have now is probably caffeine. And even that, I have like 3 coffees a day.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, you have to have something, don't you?
You do have to have something.
Yeah. I just want to change the topic a little. There's something I want to mention, but it's to do with you, by the way. Has anything around you, like in the past 3-4 months, maybe this year, happened that's kind of made you feel a bit more like positive or like uplifted, apart from like work, and forget work and gym and stuff generally? Is there anything that's happened in your life that you feel like, oh, this is something to look forward to, kind of thing, or oh, I'm really happy for this person? Because I know that one of your best mates, your brothers from a long time, Dom, had a child, didn't he?
Yeah, and he named his kid after me, which is like, that's that's quite heavy for me. So it's me and him have been through a lot, and I love him so much that, you know, to be like name your kid after me, like I just can't comprehend that. Like that just means like so much to me, and I'm so
Did that make you feel a little more like positive about the times and stuff?
Yeah, well, I got my missus. Like if it weren't for her, mate, I don't know what I do. I really don't, because she's like the glue that keeps me together. She really is. And yeah, I don't know what else really. Like I'm working like a dog, and I love my job. And I can't tell. For like legal purposes, I won't say the name of it, but like the company that I do work for, like, you know, one of my childhood passions was this certain comic, and to like be doing the marketing for like the movie version of that, I can't comprehend it.
Yeah, nice.
It's some. I told my mom, and she was like bored, because it's like, you know, this is what I've always wanted to do.
Yes.
And to be at like the forefront and controlling it, well, not controlling it, but making things happen, is like that to me is, it keeps me going. Like if I hated my job, there's no way I'd be able to do the hours that I do.
No, for sure. But, and it's good that you've kind of, I think when work starts to feel like not work, that is kind of where you want to be at. Like, it's good, man, and you've achieved some great things there, and even some of the things you've told me and what you're talking about now, it's a massive thing. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah, if you'd have told me I'd be doing what I was doing now, like a year ago, I'd be saying you're talking shite.
Yeah.
But you know, I've done 2 big movies over the past 2 weeks, releases, anyways, and that to me is just bonkers.
Yeah, you need to give yourself a pat on the back, really, because as much as it is like, obviously, you applied for the job and you're working for a company, you put yourself in this position. You worked hard to be able to get this interview, to be able to work hard to this point that they rely on you for these things, and now you're working on a big project. Like, it's all kind of self-inflicted, really. Like, you've built that up for yourself.
Yeah, thank you, mate. It means a lot. Yeah, it's been really good. Like, obviously there are going to be a lot of days like where I'm feeling just trash, because I've just worked so much. Like, my dreams are incredibly vivid, like every night, because of just stress. But you know, I spoke to my manager and I said I need to be involved with these things, or I'm going to regret it when I'm older. So I'm putting in the hours now when I can. When I have the energy and capacity to do it, and it's just been great. And there's also this other thing where, like, when you're being at home, you need a hobby. And I showed you my hobby, didn't I?
Yeah.
So, it's so stupid because I never.
It just reminds. Do you know what? Before you mention what it is, it reminds me of the summer where I was literally walking around everywhere with Pokemon Go app and kind of catching Pokemons with my friends and stuff. And it's kind of like that. Like, that was insane, and it made me feel a little alive because I felt like a kid again. But go on. Tell them what your hobby is.
Tell them what your problem is, Sam.
What is your addiction?
My name's Sam. I'm 25. And I'm addicted to Pokemon. No, it's a good addiction to have, really. Like, I went from my missus' house, obviously in London, to my grandparents, to go see my grandparents for the first time in like 6 months because of lockdown. And my granddad was clearing out the attic, and he was like, Sam, there's a couple of your stuff upstairs and your mum's stuff upstairs that you can kind of have a look through. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went upstairs. Because I won't tell the whole story, but we like moved houses and stuff, and we needed some place like storage to keep our stuff. Yeah. And so a lot of my childhood stuff was like upstairs in the attic. So I went and went through the pile, and I found like these 90s, like very, very early 90s, like Simpsons cards. You know, for the first ever Simpsons cards, like to be released with like magazines, like the Simpsons season 1. I collected those like when I was a kid with my mum. We would go to like not garage sales, what do they call it, car boot sales. I found those and I was like, oh no way! Like, I don't think they go for much, but it's quite cool. And then I flicked through the pile. And at the bottom there was this bag, and I was like, what the hell is this? So I pulled it up, and it was like all these Pokemon cards. I was like, oh my god, like, I remember these. And I was looking on the internet with my mum, and I was looking at the value, and they were saying like 15 grand, 20 grand, 2 grand. And I was like, hang on, this can't be right per card, because if this is right, then my money concerns are just, they're gone. And then I got to know it in the market a little bit more, and there's like a lot of variables to each individual card, which can contribute to how much its price is in the market, its stability, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, like wear and tear and stuff.
Yeah, all the centering, all that bull, print quality, fading, blah 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 blah. It's like the baseball card market, but like much more. It's much bigger, to be honest. And then I got all these cards. I went home, like put them in a binder. I was like, you know what? I need a freaking hobby. So I was like looking on eBay, just got absolutely obsessed and just ordered just like these cards, knowing what I was looking for. These proper 90s like Pokemon cards, very, very good quality. And like when I say Pokemon cards, people think like, oh, this is child's play. Well, it is, but it's child's play with a lot of money, because like to put it into perspective, the card that I bought for 100 quid, it's called like a Charizard Unlimited 1999 card. If you'd have got that in a first edition and it was in perfect nick, you could in November you could have sold it for 30 grand.
Yeah. So no, there's a lot of return value on these things, isn't there? Like
yeah.
And I was saying to you before, it's more of an investment as well. Like as much as it's fun because you're going to keep hold of these things, and it's nice to have like a collection of something and build something, but yes, it's an investment, man. Like that could go to your kids and your kids' kids, etc., and it could be worth millions. Maybe not millions, but
that's the plan, really. Like I'm just doing it for myself at the moment, but like I've got my personal collection now. Like I've got the cars I wanted to get as a kid that I could never afford. So that's kind of that done. So like moving forward now, I'm just going to buy boxes for investment. It's just an alternative investment that I can sell when I'm older to, I don't know, maybe like 20 years to pay off the mortgage if I haven't by then. It sounds stupid, like Pokemon cards to pay off the mortgage, but like seriously.
No, it could be a thing, man. It really could. Don't know. Like it's just the same with anything. You don't know what it could be worth in like 2 years' time, 1 year time. Even like this time next year, you could be looking at them Pokemon cards and they could be worth like triple the amount they're worth now.
Yeah, it was like I've got this one card that I picked up from my grandparents under the pile, and it wasn't in the best nick. And I think I showed you it. It was like a Charizard 2003, and I think if it was in the better quality, it really, really, really looked after 15, 20 grand, easy in pocket, if not probably more. And because I kept it upstairs in a dusty attic.
Yeah,
it's probably worth like 500 quid.
I mean, it's still good to have that. Like reflecting back on the actual base of it is having a hobby and having something to do outside of something that's like you're made to do. It's
so important to have a hobby. I'm not kidding. Like the hobby that I've had aside from my missus, it's really kept my head above the water. Yeah, it's just something to invest your thoughts and your time in.
Do you know what? For me, on the flip side, it's skipping, and I know that sounds stupid because it's just an exercise, but I've really honed in on like skipping, and I love skipping, and I love doing it, and I would happily do that every day, all day. Like obviously, if I could. And that's what you kind of need. You need something that kind of you get excited to do. I know work, you love work. Like we both love doing what we do. But at the end of the day, it's still something you're made to do. Like you have to get up at a certain time. You have to work these certain hours and you have to finish and have to do these tasks. But with a hobby, you set your own challenges, you set your own things, you set your own tasks. Like for you might be looking for a specific, I don't know, Gyarados or something, and just for example, that would be your task for the week. Like, let me do some research, let me find this nice card and shiny or whatever. For me, it'll be I've seen someone do a specific jump, I want to do this. I'm not being made to do it, I'm setting this for myself.
Yeah,
so it's nice to have that little break away. And yeah,
well, skipping's doing well, mate. I've seen videos. It's quite good,
mate. I done a little comparison thing, and what I was like in September. No, maybe not even September. Maybe like August to compared to now. Boy, I've changed a lot in terms of what I can do. So yeah, it's good, man, and it keeps me alive. Keeps me. I'm genuinely in the best physical state ever. Like, I don't know, I'm not going to brag, but like, yeah, I'm genuinely the strongest and fittest I've been for since I've started gym, really.
That's good, mate. And that must transcend to your mental state as well, making you feel pretty good. Like,
as much as like I still wish I was in a better like physical state, like I want to look better, I still now look at myself and think I'm okay with this. Like, this is great. Like, I've achieved a lot.
That's good, mate.
It's just reflection. You need to reflect on yourself and be proud of where you've come to. From especially everyone right now should be thinking like this. And this time last year, we was just in a lockdown, like the first lockdown and stuff, and we never saw like an end in sight, did we? Like we didn't know what was going on. But now look, like it might not be big things, but things have changed.
Yeah, and like I can actually plan for the future now.
Yeah, like
realistically, because this time last year I really couldn't plan for stuff. Because I didn't know what was going on. But now I can plan for holidays like next year and stuff, which is great.
Exactly. So it's kind of like given us a bit more of an open mind, hasn't it? Like instead of being restricted to obviously the lockdown and everything, I kind of feel like, yeah, we're in a lockdown still, but I'm not kind of roped down by it mentally anymore. Like it's okay. Like I'm over it.
Yeah, me too. I'm just used to it.
Like, that's it.
Legit used to it.
So yeah, no, it's good, and it's really nice to catch up and have these conversations. And just for anyone listening as well, like it's really important to talk. And we always say this, and this is the whole reason we do this, is so that we can kind of share the fact that we're just two friends talking. And essentially this podcast has, just like many of the others, it has been just us catching up, and that's what's so great about it. Like I genuinely, hand on heart, I feel more uplifted today because I've had this conversation with you.
Me too. I would say, without sounding hippy dippy, I sound a bit like I feel a bit more zen, a bit more chill.
yeah. Now you feel like you can go out and battle a few Pokemon and win.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. All round. I mean, this is, as I started the podcast, it's episode 34, Recovery. This is the name of the episode, and it's just to show that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, really. Like, think of how we're talking now in comparison to like 10 episodes ago. The whole, like, the way we're talking, the way we've come across probably is a lot more different now.
Well, yeah. I don't know how many episodes ago it was, but like there was a good number of episodes where you and me were like close to knocking on death's door.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it really was very deflating. Like we felt like we were led in a balloon, like we were just falling and there was nothing like two things. But I think you've come out the better end, I've come out the better end, and to have, especially, do you know what, the best thing to suggest to people is, yes, we are pretty much mental health advocates, but to have taken this break away from the podcast and come back like this, it's very, like, I feel great about it.
Yeah, well, and I think moving forward as well, we're not going to do it consistently every week. It's just as and when. And
yeah,
if
definitely.
You can come back, if you can approach it to quality versus quantity, then what you're producing is going to be twofold. It's going to be much, much better.
Yeah, and another thing I probably should have started the podcast with is next week is, again, it's Mental Health Awareness Week. So I'm not sure if we'll do another podcast next week, but we could do just in terms of like timing wise, because of it being Mental Health Awareness Week. But even ahead of that, if there's anyone listening to this, new listeners, old listeners, people that already know us, just message us if you need a chat. We are quite available. I mean, obviously within reason, like don't message me at 2 a.m. Because I'm sleeping. But no, I'm joking. But if you need anyone to chat to,
what?
But if you need anyone to chat to, like, our socials are on the page, and like just reach out to us, man. If you've got any ideas of what you want us to talk about, if there's anything you want us to cover, our opinion on anything, or if you want to jump on the pod, give us a call and give us a text or whatever, and we'll see what we can do.
I can't wait until we do a podcast about post lockdown. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that will be great, and I think I'm going to call it Unlocked.
Yeah, that's sick.
Because we're just going to be, it's just going to be like the padlock is off now. So, I mean, hopefully things go to plan, and Boris's announcements go to, like, you know what he said about this 5-stage plan of like the lockdown easing and lifting. Hopefully it all goes well, and I'm looking forward to things now. Like I just want to have something in concrete to know that lockdown's over. This is it. We can do everything, kind of thing.
Yeah, have a nice little roadmap.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if not, then I'm gonna flee to New Zealand and live as a goat.
Yeah, I'll do that as well. No, for sure. No, this has been great, man. Again, you can find us on our socials at Just Mates Pod, YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. Yeah, just tune in, and thanks again for listening. This has been honestly so good. I know I keep saying it, but it really has. Like, I'm glad to be back.
Me too, mate. Me too.
So yeah, you've been listening to Just Mates Pod. I have been Nafees.
I have been Borat. No, I've been Sam.
So we're joined by Borat and Nafees.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll see you later, man. Yeah. Catch you on the other side.
All right, mate. Speak to you soon.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Bye.